Hello, welcome to my YouTube. Today we're talking about breaking addictions and the neuroscience behind reprogramming the brain to break addictions. Okay, so if you research addictions, they'll say childhood trauma. They'll say a couple different things, but childhood trauma is a big thing that they will say. So you might go back and think, oh, well, I was abused, or I went through this is X, Y, and Z. Yes, I believe it is good to identify the possible causes, but I think it's just as important to focus on the solution. So I read a book and it changed my perception on addictions and in all aspects of life, because you can be addicted to drugs, alcohol, food, porn, whatever you're addicted to, you can reprogram your brain. Okay, so it's not as emotional as we think. If we look at the brain, it's an intricate wiring. Okay, and each thought we have creates a new thought pattern in our brain. So habits are just thoughts that we can think of continuously. So in order to break an addiction, we must change our thoughts that we're having, and over time we'll create new habits. Okay, easier said than done. So it's important to remember when an urge comes up, that is simply wiring in the brain. So you have to think about it with being able to slow down when an urge comes up. Do your best to envision rewiring that circuit in a different direction. Another thing that really helped me is I would do a lot of meditations where I would lay down and envision my addiction. For me, it was food. I had an eating disorder, and so I had to reprogram my perception on food. So I would think of food, I would think of that urge, I would get into meditation and I would think of that urge, and then I would envision almost like that circuit being fired off and like creating a new pattern. Ow! Okay. So once you do that over time, I promise you can break any addiction. I think, especially with food, a lot of people will say like you'll never heal from, food addictions, but you can. I believe addiction can only thrive in the dark. And I understand there can be a lot of shame or guilt or embarrassment that might come up with addictions, but if you can understand that everybody has dealt with some kind of addictive pattern in their life, whether it be anything really, and if you can say, to your loved one, look, like this came up for me, I just wanted to tell you about it, and they most likely will offer support. For me, if my eating disorder gets triggered, I'll tell my partner, I'll tell my loved ones, like, hey, like this came up for me, I just wanted to express that so you can be able to, maybe be present and help me talk about this. And then they can sit down and talk about why those things happened and be reflective on to why it happened. But try not to guilt yourself too much if you do relapse, because we are human, and just remember going back, reverting to reprogramming even relationships to certain people can become addictive. I think it's also about forgiving yourself and being patient with yourself, giving yourself permission to heal. I think is the best thing you can do for yourself, because sometimes we get so addicted to chaos that it's like a drug to us, right? So choosing health and yourself is way more important long term. Last activity I recommend is a burn book. So you're gonna get a piece of paper and you're gonna write out everything that your addiction has taken from you, how it makes you feel, why you wanna let it go, and just really channel all that energy out. Tofu, please. So focus on why you want to break this addiction, and then you burn the paper. And afterwards, I promise you will feel so much better. You will feel very powerful. You feel like you have let go of something, because you have. Yeah, so those are my tips on letting go of addiction, reprogramming the subconscious, and neuroscience. If you have any questions or you need support, if you relapse on any addiction, I'm happy to be your support and listening ear. Thank you for watching. My name is Jolynn, and I would appreciate if you can follow my journey. I would love to share more enlightenment with you, but thank you. Much love for many lifetimes.